Hello all newcomers and welcome back my fellow Aeternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and today we are here live at our capital territory of Vitae. We have a lot of progress to get up to, but first I have an announcement for our community. We are looking for an editor, maybe multiple. See, in the Empire of Aeternia, we are trying to pump out more and more content to bring you guys information on stuff that honestly we are doing, but takes a long time to process and get out there as far as videos. So we are looking for people who are interested in citizenship, even micronations, who are looking for alliances or trade agreements, who would be willing to edit our YouTube content or social media content in general and help us to put more of what we're doing out into the world. So if you feel interested in collaborating with us, getting your name out there, becoming a citizen, any of those things can fit the bill for what we are looking for. If you are interested in that, definitely reach out to us at aeternianempire@gmail.com or hit us up on our website, our Discord, any of our social media. Hit us up in the comment of this video. We will try to get in contact one way or another. Please reach out to us. Let us know what you're interested in, and we will get started. Without further ado, let me talk about what we're going to be doing today. So you see that building behind me, that ram shack, that put together structure, that is going to be our very first dwelling. We want to eventually build that to be suitable for a person to live in. But of course, right now it is very far from that. It doesn't have all the necessary just amenities that people need, but on top of that, it is not a finished structure. And so what we're doing right now is we're going to be building that thing to become a practical shed for us to keep supplies out here, and then eventually something to start camping out so that we can build here more and more readily, start building another dwelling, and keep the process going. That all being the case, today what our progress with the dwelling is, I have gotten 6 8-foot pieces of plywood. These aren't just the actual little thin boards that go on the plywood, these are thick supports from the plywood, and so we have 6 of those today, about 8 foot long, and today we are going to be hopefully building the door frame for our dwelling. So that is huge. We are going to end up building our own custom double doors for this dwelling to be able to put things inside of, to be able to work on. But for the time being, we just need to build a door frame. We need to get this thing figured out and set up properly, which is going to be a great addition to the rest of the framing that we have nearly completed, and will be the step before we start on our roof. So we have to get the rest of the framing done. We have to get this this door frame and doors built and put in, and then we are on to the roof. So guys, we are making quick progress here, and every little step that we make gives us more ability to use this structure. Right now, we can't lock anything up. We can't keep anything secure. The enemies of Aeternia could come in and sneak and take all of our supplies if they wanted to. Fortunately, we have a lot of friends, and we don't have too many enemies around here. But that being the case, we do want to protect our things. We want to make sure that we're keeping as good an eye on things as we can and are able to build and put more stuff out here. So let's get started. First, I want to say it is incredibly hot today. Actually, before we get to moving you guys and giving you vertigo or giving you any problems, I am going to go ahead and take off my jacket because it is quite hot today. As well, we have 11 viewers, 3 likes. Thank you guys for liking the video and being in the stream. The more that you guys help to be here and just exist and chat with others and learn about the community and try and figure out what the heck we're doing, you're able to help us grow our audience. You're able to help us get into more people's faces and say, hey, we are developing a new country. Come and check out what we're doing. Come and make fun of us if you want, but help us along our journey. Teach us what you know and help us to make this a bigger and better project every single time we come out here. First off, I see Her Majesty Queen Bougie jumping in. Great to see you, Queen Bougie. Thank you for being here. One of our more recent supporters, but a strong supporter of the Empire nonetheless. Somebody who's trying to get their own YouTube channel developed and their own micronational media out to the world. So definitely go ahead and support Queen Bougie if you haven't. I've subscribed and I recommend you all do too. Mr. Random asked about alliances. A number of people jumping in. Again, one of the huge things that you could do if you wanted to move forward with the Empire of Aeternia and alliances is just be an editor. If you can make little TikTok shorts, if you can make YouTube shorts, if you can do anything like that with our content and you can collaborate with us to do that, we'll shout you out. We'll develop an alliance with your nation based solely on that. If you could just help us to grow our content, absolutely, we could do that. So we need to figure stuff out. We need to put things together, but that is always an option for us as of right now, trying to get you guys into the dwelling to show you what progress we have made so far and where we're going. So let me back y'all up a little bit so you can really see what we're up to here. Let's see. Okay, so not a full picture of the dwelling, but it'll give you an idea. Where we are at right now is actually, need to back you guys up even further. You guys are going into the brush. Oh goodness, you're taking a serious adventure. Okay, here we go. We are a little crooked. Let me see if I can straighten you guys out a little. Maybe this will help give you a better perspective on just exactly where we are and how we're growing. Follow along. So, this is our doorway. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than one door. Now, we could just make one giant sliding door or something. That's interesting, but I actually have, as rare as it is for me to have actual practical equipment out here, I for once have brought measures. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be measuring the approximate length of this door frame, and we will start to actually build the door frame. So we're going to need to put one of those pieces right here, another piece right here, one going up on the top, and that should be about what we're working with for our doors. That will mean once we get everything measured out and built for them, we need to build the two doors. Fortunately, we have a good bit of equipment here that we can use to do that. So building the doors themselves won't be too big an issue. We just need to know exactly what the size of these doors have to be, which will mean building that door frame first. We got to fit our doors to our door frame. So we're going to build the door frame, probably in another video, build the doors. If we get done with the door frame today and we still have some extra time, we'll probably go ahead and finish up more of this framing. Of course, we have a lot more to do. Wall, which is one of the last ones we have to finish up. If you're facing the dwelling, our leftmost wall, we need to finish framing that. We pretty much are done with framing. On the right, all we need to do is put 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more supports in there, but each of the parts of the framing right now there have supports. We're pretty good. The back wall is complete as far as its framing. The leftmost wall, again, is the biggest thing that needs its supports. And then as well, we need to go in with a couple here on these front-facing walls that will ultimately go to provide additional assistance to our door frame. But that being the case, we can go ahead and start moving, measuring, cutting, and doing all the things we need to set up that door frame, getting another piece of the puzzle knocked out. So I hope you all are doing well. And we are going to go ahead and get started with that. Let me see what everybody's up to here. Great to see you guys. Fishland said, AP, can we collab? Absolutely. We need to collab. We need to get into more connection with our micronational counterparts. Everybody has a cool story to tell. Everybody has stuff that they're doing. So we absolutely want to bring the heat and show the community that we are doing some serious stuff, but also some incredibly fun stuff with some incredibly cool people in our community. So we need to show the world what the micronational community is worth and absolutely bring some great collaborations to the table. So reach out to us, hit us up. Again, if you can edit stuff for us, that's the biggest thing we need. If you want to apply for citizenship, if you've ever thought of getting closer to the Empire, working on some sort of collaboration, that is absolutely our top priority right now. It's the thing that we need. It's the thing we've needed for quite some time, but it is one that we will continue to advertise and continue to make a point about. That being the case, real fast, let me go into grabbing the pieces that we're going to start working with and putting together for the rest of this door frame. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just show you guys kind of the setup for what we're dealing with here. Again, we're probably going to be a little close here, so I'll have to back you guys up. But let's see if I can start out some of this. Okay, here we go. That's one right there. We got, let me grab this one. Two with this one. Go ahead and set that right there as well. Okie doke. if both of those will stay relatively steady, I can show you guys what we're doing. Also, 6 likes, 3 viewers. Thank you guys for being here, liking the video, and trying to connect with us. What are your micronations up to? Have you joined our Discord server? Have you hung out with us before? Let us know who you are. Let us know what you're all about. As you can see back there, we are starting on that door frame. Of course, we haven't cut anything. We haven't measured anything yet. Just trying to get an idea of what we're working with here. Again, this is probably going on a 7 to 8 foot board here. We have 2 of these that are stacked up right next to each other that are going to be making this door frame. Now, the thing that I am most concerned about is how parallel these are to each other. If one is set at an angle from the other, that is going to make this process incredibly difficult for actually getting the door frame properly fit, getting everything set up. So we may run into some trouble there, but hopefully it's not too big. If it becomes one, there are a couple things that we can do to kind of straighten things out, get them more parallel, more even with each other, and then we can move forward with the rest of the door frame. I think this height is probably going to be fine, so we will most likely cut off at the top of where our posts end. I don't foresee us needing too much bigger a door than that. You know, I think we'll be pretty good there. So we'll go ahead with that. And I don't think there's too much else that we really together the door frame. We're gonna again cut these, put them into place, then get one long another 8 foot post, another 8 foot support, and we're going to go across the top as a beam going to make the top of the door frame. And then once we have that, we can actually measure from here to there. Well, we can do it beforehand, but we'll measure and then we'll know what the full width of both of our doors need to be when they're put in. And then we can actually go in and estimate what that means for our individual doors and how much of a gap we need to let them swing freely with each other and connect to each other. And so we can go ahead and do that. We can actually, if we can build up the structure of the doors fast enough, if we're able to do that today, we may be able to get these things in place and show you kind of what the doors would look like. All that being the case, let me go ahead and jump in, see what you guys are up to. We got 7 viewers, 4 likes. Again, thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for being here. Her Majesty Queen Bougie says, "Sir, your audio quality is superb." Thank you so much. All thanks to this this little microphone here that I have on me. It's taken us a while to get a nice, decent quality lavalier mic, you know, Bluetooth mic, but I am super fortunate to have it. The pack that we have actually has 2 in it, so we're able to do little interviews and stuff with them as well. It's kind of nice. Kingdom of Terestia says, "We're going to make a watchtower on our eastern border." That sounds great. Be careful when building things like that. Anything that's going to have a second story or is going to have some elevation to it that you're building as a standing structure, you really want to make sure it's stable. You really want to make sure it can hold somebody's weight, that it, you know, won't knock down in a storm, that the materials that you use are going to stay real strong and real sturdy. So definitely be careful. Again, I am not one to point fingers, as we are clearly building out of pallet wood here, but definitely move with caution. Terestia says, "I'll have to make sure." Absolutely. Good to see you guys. Real quick, what I am going to do is get started with that. So I guess I will go ahead and measure these lengths to make sure they are exactly the same height. They should be with these posts. Just in case, I will double check. And then what we'll go ahead and do is cut them, start getting them set up for that door frame. I'm going to go ahead and move over with that. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. What are you guys up to today? How has your weekend been? Here in the U.S., it is Labor Day weekend. So, you know, outside of Aeternia, we have seen, of course, a lot of people enjoying their Labor Day weekend, a lot of traffic, a lot of big things traveling between Aeternia and the U.S. So it's been interesting, and I hope your time with Labor Day weekend, if you are near to the US or in the US, has been going well. I'm going to go ahead here and measure this height of this here. Goofed. All right, I'm gonna have to go straight on. Make sure that I don't bend it. Make sure it holds for me. Slowly go down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And let's see what we get. Okay, so our tape measure unfortunately runs out at a little over 5 feet, which is super unfortunate. But we can go ahead and make mark of where that ends and continue our measurements. So I actually have the perfect nail for the job right here. What I'm going to do is I'm marking where my tape measure ends, where I can accurately measure from, and then getting started with the next one. So I need to make sure I line up my cut real well, my mark real well, I should say. Go ahead and mark where that tape measure ends. I'll go ahead and, the tape measure goes a little bit over 5 feet, but I'm going to go ahead and mark right at that 5 foot mark so that it's easy to continue my measurement. Now I'm going to pull that guy back in so we know where we just made our little mark is 5 feet. I'm going to put in and continue down. We're looking at about, see, 1 foot. Where's 2 at? 2's got to be getting pretty close right there. That's 2 feet. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, that's too far. We need probably 1.5. So we're going to go 6 and we'll probably go 6 feet 10 inches. Weird number, I know, but this post has a little bit of it goes down into the dirt a little bit more than we'd probably like it to. And so it has a hole around it where it does that. And instead of just filling the hole up, what I want to do is I want to add this extra piece that goes down into it a little bit. That way it stays secure. Eventually, we are going to be digging this out a little bit more and backfilling with concrete, one to protect these base of these big posts, weather treated posts, and also to make sure that we are staying with the proportions and dimensions that we're going to have inside, which is going to be below the ground. So we want to make sure that we do that really well. And so just to give us a little bit of wiggle room there, we can always cut more off if we need to, but we can't add more on once we get started, or it's a lot more difficult to. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 6 feet 10 inches for this one. Cut it there, and then go ahead and get started with the next one. Now this one, fortunately, I have already pulled off all of the stuff with it. So that's good there. I've pulled off all of the nails, anything that would cause us any problems with this piece. So that's pretty nice. Have a nice clean piece to get started with. A lot of the time here on the channel, you will see us actually having to prepare the pallet wood as we go. And that's simply because we're dealing with you know, recycling materials. We're dealing with materials that we're getting for free from people who are donating them to us, or from places wherever we can get it. And so we're having to constantly take extra time and effort to take care of this material, and to properly remove all of the issues that we have with it. 4 feet. Let's see. Okay, that's 5 feet right there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark again, right at where I did last time with my 5 foot mark. Let me make sure that I haven't messed up my measurement, that I'm relatively straight on the board. Looks like I am. Measuring my 5 foot mark here, putting my notch in, and now we continue from that mark. Let's go 5 foot. Then go 5 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot, and about to hit 10 inches. If I can get back on my mark here, that's 6 foot and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. There we go. 6 feet, 10 inches should give us plenty of space to work with. Gonna lock my measuring tape in place, make sure we are on our mark. We are 6 foot, 10 inches. Gonna mark again all the way out to the edge there to know where we're cutting. All right, so got our board marked. So these boards, I lied, they aren't 8 feet. They are a little over 7 feet. They're maybe 7.5, something like that. If I had to guess, they're a little over 7 feet. But nonetheless, we're going to be chopping a good bit off today. Maybe, if we get lucky, the pieces that we chop will be large enough to fit into our in-between spots where we need more supports, more horizontal supports for the other walls that we need to fix up. So we will go ahead and try that at some point. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and cut. People have recommended this in the past. I really need to build a sawhorse for out here. That would be something that would be ideal to help our growth and development out here. Again, one of the biggest issues with building something that's nice, though, that we really put a lot of effort into, is that we can't pick anything up out here. So that means we either have to take the sawhorse away when we use it and bring it back every time, or we leave it out here and just trust that it won't get taken, which is fine, but a little risky. We have noticed damage out here before from people coming and littering, causing problems. Nothing too crazy, but it has been noticed. So I imagine just kids in the neighborhood and stuff. But if it persists, it could be an issue, especially if we start leaving more expensive materials. This piece of property, Vitae, was something that was undeveloped for years and years and years, for over a decade, maybe close to 2 decades, was just completely untouched. And so the previous owner just sat on the property for a long time. And fortunately, we were able to grab it. But I think people in the area got accustomed to just, having this undeveloped piece of property. So they came and hang out here and use it as their little spot, which is fine when we're not doing anything out here. But now that we're developing, it can be a bit of a headache. So we want to just have a place that we can separate things out. That way, even if we do get the occasional trespasser, it doesn't cause us any problems, slow our progress. But that being the case, we're cutting our board and then we will test to see if it's the right height. And just like that, our board is cut. It's not perfectly square, I'm sure, but it's probably not bad. And now you guys can see the results of my handiwork. Papa, not too shabby. All right. So what I can do is I can actually pick that up to right about there. And oh yeah, that should be plenty. That should be plenty. So that's what we'll do. In just a second, I will go ahead and drive this guy in. Get it prepped and ready. as the first part of our door frame. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna let that, whoop, we're gonna let it fall down. We're gonna try and balance it if we can. There we go. Okay, and I will grab some nails for us, get us set up and ready to start the process on this first one. I guess I'll go ahead with 4 nails to start out with. If we need less, fantastic. If we need more, we've got them. But 4 should be a good starting spot. I have to go and grab our hammer off to the side here. And we're getting started. All right. Back at it. Hope you guys can see me. Good to see everybody here, everybody who's hanging out with us. Let me go ahead and set these somewhere, I guess in my back pocket for the moment. Stick those right there. Line this guy up. And hammer away. Now it would be ideal if we had some additional friends out here to assist and stuff like this. Fortunately, we did have our one of our local citizens, Joey, and his partner Michelle come out to be able to help us and assist us with cleaning up some of our materials, doing some of the stuff we do out here, like actually preparing the materials. Yep, as soon as I start shaking this foundation, of course our other post goes, but that's how it shakes out sometimes. Let me see if I can get this guy straightened up here. Okay, we got it in. Let's see how flush that is with the top. Pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Finish that out. And we want to make sure that that nail as well comes through as really flush, because we do not want our door having any issues closing. So now we want to scoot this piece to the side just a little bit, make sure that it lines up properly with everything else. Pull out another one of our nails, get started here. About a quarter of the way down, maybe a little more. That should be fine. Let's get started here. Yep. Still good and level. Right there. Flattening that guy out. Perfect. Looking nice. Gonna go ahead with our third nail. Again, about a quarter of the way down, another quarter of the way down, 3/4 of the way down. Put it about right there. Perfect. Little flush, little over flush actually. Sending it deeper in than we need to, but better safe than sorry. Now we're going to go all the way down basically to floor level, a little bit above, and finish. There we go. First part of our door frame. Woo! Got a good measurement here. Pretty flush with the sides, looking good. Decent craftsmanship. Decent, I would say. And now we have another piece cut, ready for action. Oh, sorry. Another piece cut, ready for action. Just because I'm curious, I want to go up to a couple of these places, see if it fits anywhere. It's not looking like it does, unfortunately. Cut it a little too small. But that's okay. We always find a use for stuff. So we'll throw it with the rest of the pallet wood, get started cutting and shaping our next one. This guy will be the other side of the door frame. Oh, if I can get my shirt unstuck. Ooh. There we go. All right, now the issue is this guy still has a good bit of nails in it. So we're gonna have to do our best to slowly yet carefully remove these nails. I will bring you guys over to hang out, talk, see what everybody's up to while we do that. Again, first part of our door frame completely done. First part, absolutely up. Second thought, I'll keep you guys back here while I talk. I think you guys can be all right. Good to see everybody. North Alwick says it's coming along. Get it. Thank you, North Alwick. We appreciate it. Also, mentioned this earlier. If anybody wants to collaborate with us and work with us, all you have to do, help us with content. We need your social media savvy and expertise. We need assistance that we are looking for outside of the Aeternian community. Or if you want to become a citizen, anybody, alliances, friendships, citizenships. We are looking for editors for videos. We're looking for people to help us create more social media content out of the stuff that we already make. So all it would be is cutting up the stuff that we make, helping us look cool and present ourselves in a fashionable way. And we will be getting out there, growing our influence in the micronational community. Yeah, goodness, as I destroy each one of these pieces. Now, part of the issue with this, if I mess up, this board too much and I'm not careful, we could end up in a predicament. There we go. It's not flush anymore. So, got to be real careful when we go to some of these that just will not come out. Unfortunately, that means we have to make them flush. We have to knock them back in to the wood, which doesn't help us a lot. It causes us some problems. So if we can avoid that, we try to. But in the case that we can't, we just got to make it absolutely as flush and as smooth as possible. You may ask, why am I choked up on the hammer so much? In dealing with a lot of these pieces, one, just probably poor technique, but also when you're dealing with a lot of these really old nails, the stuff that you know just about the nail head is going to break, yep, just like that, without even trying it. I mean, these pieces are just rough. You want to be careful to try and drive the nail straight in. So that way it's easiest to move through the piece of wood and you save yourself the most headache when trying to do stuff with it, as opposed to having your nail, yep, immediately, all these are breaking. This is going to suck. This is going to be a board full of nails. But you want to make sure that you're able to drive this stuff straight back in to make it as flush as possible. And so a lot of the time, that means for accuracy, I'm trying to choke up. For precision, I should say, I'm trying to choke up on the hammer a little bit, make sure I get there every time. But nonetheless, it is probably poor technique. I'm going to go ahead and just hammer the rest of these back in here. I think this is almost a lost cause to try and pull any of them back out. They're all about the same wear and tear, so maybe I'll be wrong on one or two of them, but I think this board is just yeah, this one even already starting to break on me, giving me problems. There we go. All right, so we're going to finish nailing the rest of these in. We got almost half of it done. We're going to go for that other half. Then we're going to cut this thing to size, do the same thing like we did, get in the door frame. Goofing on two fronts here. Let me smooth this out. A little bit more. Not bad. Okie doke. Decent enough. That's the only thing that really sucks. You guys talking about superb audio quality. I hope the audio quality isn't terrible when I'm bashing a hammer next to your ear. If it is, I am sorry. But no progress without a little annoyance, huh? Okay, So we got 4 more left on this side. Let me check. We got 2 more on the back, so 6 more left on this side. Then we'll move to the other side. Man, a lot of these are going sideways on me. A lot of these nails, instead of me driving them straight in like I just preached about, they're already kind of bent into the board. So I'm just having to kind of make them as flush as I possibly can on the sides. Just hammering them in however they'll go in. Just making sure they stay relatively flush. Having to go in and check, pound them deeper if they can't stay in. Goodness. Okay. A lot of innuendos in this stream, apparently. Goodness. All right, let me finish this out. There we go, almost. Pretty good. Let's get these. Hey, that one went in. That one went in well. Okay. Got those pretty flush. This side's basically done. Got the middle pretty good there. Now we're just on to the other half. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Try and get these guys driven in as best as possible. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, now we've got, it looks like just one more here on the back side, a couple more on the front, and we might be good to go. If I can get my hair out of my eyes. In fact, this may call for one of our amazing gifts from the nation of Beatus Crafts. That is a hair tie. They provided us with some homemade knitted scrunchies, which are incredible. I say homemade, micronation made. Personal cultural artifacts. They are some amazing Aeternia themed scrunchies, and I am super honored to have those sent all the way from another micronation. They sure did us a service, especially on our founding day recently. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend checking it out. We just dropped our founding day speech, but in that I talk about them and the package they sent us and how wonderful they have been to be supporting our community. That all being the case, let me go ahead and measure this guy out again. I imagine it's going to be the same height, but measure twice, cut once, as they say. We are going to do our double measurement. Not looking for car keys, looking for measuring tape. Here we go. All right, let's do the same thing we did last time. Going to start at the top, slowly up, make sure we get a good grip on the top. Slowly and carefully measure our way down, making sure we don't pull the measuring tape. Making sure it stays latched on decently well. Okay, going down. And looks like I have misplaced my marking nail, but that is okay. I can use my marking hammer. So we'll go down right about to that 5-foot mark again. And again, just need to make a little tiny note of where that is. Ah, timber. Okay. Good news is we still have that marked in the same spot. Even if this does fall down, I think it's fine because we have it already in the spot we need it. But just in case, we'll try to keep it up there as long as possible. All right, let's get that situated. No, that's okay. like I said, it's marked where it needs to be. That's all that matters. Gonna go to that 5 foot mark there and just kind of make our mark next to it. There we go. All right, so got our, double check. Yep, got our 5 foot mark there. So that's 5 feet. Gonna bring our tape back in, start at that 5 foot mark, go down just a little bit, move some of this stuff. See, this one is more covered by the ground, so it won't go as far. We're gonna need to cut this one a little shorter, it looks like, at maybe, let's see here. I'm gonna move my hair out of the way. 6 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, 10. We can probably do 10 again. Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. We'll make them the same size just to make everything as square as possible, as nice as possible. 6 foot, 10 inches. That's where we're gonna go. And we wanna pick the nicest side to cut on, so, or the ugliest side to cut on, nicest side to keep. So we're gonna start from this side and go 6 feet. And I actually go 5 feet here with the measuring tape, but we'll ultimately measure 6 foot, 10 inches. Let's get it here. We got that 5 foot mark right here. We'll go ahead and do our marking like we did just a second ago. Trusty and completely reliable hammer mark, of course. Let's see that 5 feet right there. Okay, then we'll pull back on that. Measure at our 5 foot mark again. Go on to 6. That's about 6 right there. Make sure we stay on our mark. Almost. There we go. 6 feet and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. 6 feet, 10 inches. Here we go. We'll go ahead and mark again. Instead of using the hammer method on this one, it's probably not the best, most reliable source. Should probably find my nail, but better yet, I will mark it with the saw. That'll be fine. Okay, so let me double check our measurement before I go crazy. 6 feet. Let me scoot back up to our mark. There we go. 6 feet, 10 inches right there. Looking good. Up. Keep moving off our mark. There we go. Make sure we're good and secure there. 6 feet, 10 inches right there. Let me lock this guy in place. Grab the saw. Line it up well. Let's mark it just a little bit there. Okay, that's pretty good. That's got it. So 6 feet, 10 inches. We're ready to cut. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put together my little non-sawhorse, impromptu sawhorse here. And cut right at my 6 foot, 10 inch mark. Let's get it. All right. Got our measurement going. Now, one of the biggest things we got to make sure of when we do this is to keep our cut really parallel. Now, there are tools like a square that we could use to do that, to keep things real nice. However, if you set your board up right and you do everything properly, line of sight is generally fine, especially for what we're doing, you know, just kind of eyeballing it, as they say. Now that we've got our groove, we can go a little faster. Now, one thing I will note, I can feel my saw is starting to wear down. So it's worn pretty evenly, but it is starting to get worn down. So at some point, I need to learn the trade of sharpening my saw. But that is for another video. For now, we're going to power through, cut a couple more boards with this guy, and finish up the door frame. All right, powering through here. Goodness. And it seems like we're almost through here. So, moving at a pretty good pace. Yep, I can feel it. We're rounding it off. And there we go. Okay. Should be 6 foot 10 inches. Let's test if I'm good at what I do. Moderately decent at what I do. Okay. So the ground sank in a little bit more where I tried to set it. So, you know, we're still at about the same setup as we did with the other one. That 6 foot 10 inch height is going to be picked up a little bit to be nailed in properly. But that does give us a nice, you know, couple inches that we can dig out to actually put our door frame in. So that'll be nice. You know, when we come through and level out the front of the house, of the dwelling, it'll be real nice. So, that being the case, for now we're going to set that to the side, make sure we have our nails. And real quick, I'll check in with you guys and get a water break. Ugh, goodness. 9 viewers, 8 likes. Thank you guys for being here. James says, let's all enjoy the video. Great to see you, James. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping to support our empire. If you guys don't know, James is the person to listen to when it comes to imperial diplomacy. James is our newest, and so far the first in Aeternia's history, imperial ambassador. So he is, over time, going to be connecting with our allies, our friends, the entire micronational community on our behalf as he develops more into the role, and we will be moving forward with James as one of the main connections that the micronational world has to Aeternia. As we do more stuff out here, as we get busier and busier, it becomes difficult for me directly to handle a lot of our interactions with the community, and so it takes time away from other things that we have to do. I love talking to you guys, I love meeting you guys and learning more about your nations, but just as a practical concern, it ends up being more feasible for us to develop ambassadors. So like any good empire, that's what we're doing. And James has been an amazing candidate to fit the role there and has proved a great advisor and imperial ambassador thus far. So what we are going to be doing, I'm going to take a quick water break and we will be on to putting in the other side of our frame. Again, if any of you guys are interested, I might as well just bring the nails over here. If you guys are interested in developing alliances with us, developing trade deals, anything like that, reach out to James. He should be able to follow up with me and see what we're able to do. But again, one of the biggest things you guys can do to get good marks in our book as far as how likely we are to accept an alliance is if you can produce good quality edits for us for our social media content. We just need somebody to put the work in as an editor, whether that's as a citizen, whether that's as another micronation looking for ways to create trade deals with us. All of that is absolutely acceptable for trying to develop our social media content. So we definitely want that. We definitely have, I guess what I'll do is start driving this first. Excuse me, guys. We definitely have incentive to seek out deals with those who can provide us with that social media editing ability, especially consistently. Now it looks like I've bent my nail up, so unfortunately, seems like I gotta kind of pull the plug on this guy, but I have driven it in pretty far, and this is a hard wood, so gotta go ahead and pull this guy out. Unfortunately, this will be our new marking nail, since we need some way to do that. But for the time being, let me finish driving this guy in. Let me make sure I'm not hitting, I very well could be hitting a nail there. That may be part of the issue here. So I'm actually, it looks like I'm bending up my nails more than once. So I'm going to do the smart thing. Unfortunately, have to pull this guy out as well. Tried to do it in the same exact hole, thought it would work out. It sure didn't. So now I'm going to go just a little bit lower. See if this works out. Oh yeah, looks like this might be quite a bit easier. Dang it, bending again. This is just not a great one for driving our nails through at all. Wow, I was really excited about this board too. Oh my goodness. This is not working out in our favor. As always, there are struggles in developing an empire, but you don't think driving a nail through a board is going to be what stops your progress. Goodness, okay. Well, I guess let's see what the other side brings. Maybe if we can get it in this way, it'll be just enough to start with. Let's see. Hopefully this is a decent board. Let me see. Did we drive all the way through? Not yet. Starting to bend. Let's see if we can get it to work out for us. That's all right. No, this thing is bending up horribly. Oh, wow. We may not be using this board for this purpose. Unfortunately, bending up all of our nails. Let me look. See if I can grab a special nail. Maybe one of our special nails will do it, and we can come back with some other ones. This is a particularly thick nail. This is one of our larger roofing nails. What I'll do is probably go back to the other side, try and hammer it through one of those holes, see where that gets me. If it doesn't get me too far, we may be messing up one of our nicer nails, but let's see how this goes. I don't know, it looks like it's trying to get it. It is. Oh, man. Okay, we got it. We got it through, but it did start to bend. So, gonna have to be real careful with how we do this. Gosh, this is not the place you want to be. But this is where we are. So, our nail has started to bend. It did drive through. We could have abandoned, but we didn't. We're making the attempt. So we're going to bring our board up, make sure it's as flush as it can possibly be with the rest of this post. Pretty good right there. Hold that in place, and we're just going to go. There we go. It's working out. Okay. Yeah, this is going to work. Worked, but almost didn't. Wow. Okay. Got this guy doing good. Like I said, worked, almost didn't. That doesn't fare well for our lower nails. Nonetheless, we're going to try it. Maybe if we can drive it in with enough force, we can get it to push through. Try and drive it in spots where we know there aren't other nails. Know there aren't any other big issues we have to deal with. So let's try. That way we can get this door frame finished today, huh? All right. Dang it. Right as we get about halfway through, this thing starts buckling. And you know, I think it's just how hard this wood is. I really think it is a problem of our materials, unfortunately. This is just a really tough wood and is made probably out of parts where there are a lot of knots. Of course, I'm coming up with complaints because I'm the one not able to drive the nail, but still, man, there's something going on. We are running through nails. So what we may have to do is put this piece down for a time. We have it in the right spot. Go ahead and put the top on, top of the door frame, and then come back to it. But that's not ideal. If we can get at least one more anchor point, we can have it framed, we can have it in place, then try and move forward from there. But yeah, there's no nails in the spot where we're at, where we're hammering. Dang it. Be real careful. This is not working out in our favor at all. Okay. See if I can just kind of bend it back into shape a little bit. Of course, that's never going to work out as well as when it was a perfectly straight nail, but maybe it'll let us drive through just a little bit more. We showed with the other nail that we were using, if we can just get this thing to drive through enough, it'll make it. Hey, and just like that, what did I just say? If we can get it to drive through enough, it will make it, and surety dandy, that's a weird thing to say, but surety dandy, it will work. Yeah, and just like that, the Empire of Aeternia has achieved the setup for the sides of its door frame. Flush, flush. That is beautiful. Look at this. Incredible. Okay, now we have this part. All we have to do is throw the top on there. We're going to do the same thing we just did. Hopefully it's a nice piece like this one, not a insanely bite your head off tough piece like this one. We'll throw that up there. Then we have our door frame. From there, to measure the length of the door frame, go ahead and start designing the concept for our doors. We will probably come back to that on a later video, but for now, once we finish that, we'll finish off the rest of this framing and paneling. That way, everything else is done, and we can go ahead and start putting on the doors next time we come out, build the doors, put them on, and then we have, think about it, all the framing done, except for the top piece, the one top main piece that we're going to put across the rest of the framing that will start the foundation for the roof. That'll start the initial bracings that we're going to have for the roof. We'll need higher quality materials for that so our roof doesn't fall apart quick on us, but nonetheless, getting very, very close. This will be the start to the roof, just about. Okay, so real quick, let me check in with you guys one more time. I will grab, let me chug my water, stay hydrated. I will grab our other board, place it, and get started. One of the things I want to do before we get too far into it, I want to see, I could be wrong. I think they're going to be pretty dang flush, not pretty dang flush, pretty dang parallel. Again, eyeballing it here, but you know, I don't see too much of an angle, if I see any at all. It's probably a better place to try and look at it. But yeah, if there is, it's not much. I think we should be fine to do the doors here. They may not be as nicely sealed as we would like, but there are some improvements we can make if we do notice that issue. Hope everybody's doing well. James says, if you're in the Discord, we'd love to hear from you there, Fishland. We can get in touch in DMs and iron out the details that I will present to the Emperor. Thank you so much, James. That means a lot. James already doing the good work as an Imperial ambassador, moving forward, growing our name in the community, helping us to deliver on promises that we have to our friends and allies. That all being the case, going to get the third out of 6 pieces. Again, there's another piece that we already pulled all of the nails out of, which is nice. So what we can do, if it's dang long enough, looks like it is, just throw that right on there. Look at that. Not too shabby. Now, it may be a little more to this side than it is to that side. And now that I'm actually lining it up with a more level board, there is honestly a little bit of angle. It's angled slightly inward. So, you know, if we're looking at our leftmost post, our rightmost post, our leftmost post from the outside, our rightmost post from the outside for you guys is angled slightly inward. So, gonna have to be careful with that. See, this is flush on this leftmost post. So when we go to your guys, the rightmost post, it is not completely flush. It is, I can see the corner here in the back just a little bit poking through, so that means we have a little bit of a tilt this way, but it is maybe a degree, fraction of a degree. You know, it's small. That's going to cause a problem with hanging up our doors, so we do need to be careful. Ideally, we'd put a nice like wedge piece in here that would actually make it flush. You know, try to make it angle, correct that angle a little bit, but we're not going to worry too much about that for right now. We're going to put our door frame down, and then we will improve as needed. So, got that? Let's go ahead and drive our door frame in. It really, because this is, you know, just about as long as we need. We may actually need a little bit longer for the door frame, but I think this will be fine for the time being. We can always go and brace it up against the back and the sides to really make sure that that door frame holds in place like we want it to. But for the time being, we might as well just try and drive it in. So, gonna go from the top here, get started with a couple nails. Like butter. This one is not causing me any problems. I am grateful for that, because man, that other one was not fun, let me tell you. Now this is even just an incentive to put the rest of the framing on. Right now it's not terrible, but I'm having a little bit of an issue standing up here. A little too tall for me. I like to think I'm tall, but you know, going up to this height is a little bit of an issue for me. So what we're going to do, and try and make that as nice and flush as we can. Try and get that started out. Dang it. Okay, maybe back here. It's just absorbing all of the shock too as part of the issue. I'd like to sit up here, but I feel like that's a little dangerous. Okay. Just these don't have framing yet, which they are just the panels. So I can't do too much about it. What I might do, also not safe, do not follow my advice, YouTube people, but I'm going to stack up some of our pieces of pallet wood right here, make a stable surface, and use it as support to climb up. Got to move our nice, pretty jug. One of the things I'm not sure if you guys have seen out here, but we did recover an artifact in previous expeditions out to Vitae. This old jug, you know, it looks like a moonshine jug or something. It's pretty cool. Gross. But yeah, we found this jug. So you guys are jug fans, let me know. It'd be cool to make like a terrarium out of this or something. Get a whole bunch of the wildlife from Vitae, put it in here, have it grow. If you guys like terrarium, stuff like that, let me know. It would be cool. So here's this cool little jar that we found, a piece of Vitae from before we got here. An antique item for sure. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and set the rest of this stuff down, start piling it up as flat as possible to give us some height to climb up on when trying to do this. So got it braced up against our post here. That should be enough height for me to go and continue hammering. Let's see how we do. Oh yeah, that's helpful. Still not great, don't have a ton of leverage, but definitely not bad. Could be a lot worse. Now, if anybody can tell me what I should have done, they get bonus points for this episode. I can tell you right now, I should have hammered both of these nails through, driven them through, before I tried to put them up here. That way, I wouldn't be actually trying to drill through the board right now, nail through the board. I'd be nailing through the actual post that I'm dealing with. But as of right now, I've put myself into an issue where that is not the situation. So as carefully as I can, I do have to just drive this. Slowly but surely, making progress. Yep. Slowly but surely, not wanting to hurt myself or anybody else. Nobody else out here, but just in case. Oh yeah, that's right on the edge. That's about to drive through. Ladies and gentlemen, don't hammer towards yourself. Awful, unsafe idea. Don't do it. Be better than me. Getting tough. Okay. Unfortunately, we may be in a situation here where, again, we run into the issue that this will just simply not stay like we're needing it to. We hope not, but could be an issue. It appears we're going to struggle with this for a minute. Goodness gracious. Okay. Worse. Okay, hey, good news. Looks like it's getting close. I keep saying that. I think it's about halfway through this board. See if we can't get it any further. Not budging. Okay. Gonna do a little bit of shenanigans here. Try and get this thing dealt with. So it looks like we have a goal to accomplish before our other goal. If I can put in the base for these two, the start of the framing for these two front walls, I can easily climb up there and finish this one off. But that is a task in and of itself. So what it looks like I'm going to have to do is get on it. Let me start with something like this. See where we're at. Measure this guy out. It looks to be pretty decent. Go ahead and do 2 of these thick. And then get started on that. Again, having to pivot real close to putting up that door frame. But we do, unfortunately, need to deal with some of this. I'm not going to deal with this board as of right now. Having to take all that stuff off. It's going to be a little annoying in the moment. This one looks to be a similar length, but maybe a board that gives us a lot of headaches. We will have to test it out and see. Already looks like a real hardwood and not quite long enough. Okay. In that case, the solution is before our eyes already. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to cut some of these to size. So we'll try just one of these boards. This is another one of the like 7+ foot long boards that we have for today. Hoping to use it for other stuff, but I'm sure we can acquire some more. Today, we're going to need to use it to put the base of the framing for the front walls on. So what we're going to do is line it up, measure how we're going to want that to go. Let me see approximately how long this guy is. Get out my measuring tape. Okay, and it looks like that is about, lock that down, about 4 feet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 feet, 10.5 inches, thereabout. So that's where we need to mark and cut. And again, we might be able to get that out of this one board. Maybe not, maybe a little over halfway, but we will try it. Worst comes to worst, we can do half with this board, half with another, and then we'll have extras for some of the supports, side supports. I should actually do this the other way around. Make sure I'm keeping to my measurements, and what I'll have to do is actually cut a little bit extra on here. We want it to be thick because we want to make sure that it has a little bit of snugness to it. Not a ton, you know. I mean, this is, when I say cut extra, we're cutting very little extra, but nonetheless, it will be helpful to cut that extra so that we don't have to deal with it being too loose and having to try and find ways to make it fit properly where it needs to fit. So making sure that's tight onto there, looks like it is, holding this in place. And now grabbing out of the plethora of nails that we have damaged and messed up, one to mark our spot here. Looks like we're going right about here. I'll just make that, like I said, just a little longer than necessary. That way when we wedge it in, it is pretty dang tough in there. And that's what we'll do right there. So there we go. That's our mark. Should be pretty nice as well because this is cutting up into a fraction of where a cut has already been placed into it. So that'll be quite nice, quite convenient. And again, we're going to double stack these. So we're not just relying on this one piece of wood. We're actually going to have it supported one on top of the other. Nail these two pieces together. And then we will go again. So cutting this guy out. Trying to wear our saw down evenly. As our citizen and friend James has suggested. Cutting through. Ooh. Trying to get back in our notch. should have placed it on top of our other boards there, but that'll be all right. Almost through here. There we go. This thing's toast. Okay, just in case, we're going to flop over to this side and I mean, this thing is done. Goodness, trying to do it. There we go. Okay. Now let me clean this thing up a little bit because my cut was struggling. Okay, that looks pretty dang good. All right. We also cut in the middle of a knot there, so that's not great, but can now see about this guy. See, this is a little bit short, but the benefit here is that it still goes about halfway. So what I can always do is I can get this to support here, nail it in, cut this piece off, and then add another piece that's about that same length, and then it should be good. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'll go ahead and cut this guy off right here. Cut that guy off right there and keep on moving. Then we will have a second goal accomplished, which will lead us back to accomplishing our first goal. In getting, oh goodness, in getting if I can get set up properly. After this, I'm going to walk up real fast, talk to you guys. I want to address something. There's something I've been thinking about, and I wasn't thinking about it starting the stream because I was kind of in a rush to get started. Wanted to jump on this, was excited. But there is something important from our community that I should have mentioned at the beginning of the stream, and I did not. I already talked about our needing an editor, but this is a little bit more pressing. Although we absolutely do need an editor. This is something that has been happening in our community recently. Just thought about it, just wanted to bring it up. As I learned about it a few days ago, and it is something that is of utmost importance in our community. Goodness, okay, got through there. Now that's pretty nice board. Real quick, gonna try to pull these nails out. If that doesn't work, you know, we're just gonna have to bash them back in, and then I will come and speak to you guys. Hey, no, these are coming out. Nice. Okay. We'll have to come back later and actually pick all these up with a magnet, but for now we will leave them in the active construction site. Okay, got a couple more. Then let me come and speak to you guys more one-on-one, more directly. Emperor to citizen, micronationalist to micronationalist, leader to leader. I have something important to address with you all. See, get this last one out. Nice. Okay, so real quick, almost done with this guy. This will be the start of our framing for the bottom of our front leftmost wall for you guys. Or excuse me, rightmost wall for you guys. I'm getting my left and right mixed up. There we go. Pretty good in there. Let me add one more. That's silly. You know what I was doing just then? Hammering this nail through, thinking I'm going to drive it into the other side, when I'm really driving it to a point where there isn't any wood below it. So silly me. Let me move this guy up just a little bit. There we go. Get this guy lined up properly. And then on to the announcement. There we go. So I'm talking about one more big hit. Pretty flush. All right, we're going to talk to you guys. Hello, everybody. Sorry to leave you for too long. Wanted to bring up to everybody one of our citizens, and in fact, our Discord moderator, Dakota, has been sick recently. He caught a strain of COVID. It's very concerning. So please keep him in your thoughts. If you are religious, keep him in your prayers. And check in on him. You know, if you guys see him in the Discord, ask him how he's doing. Check in on him. I wanted to make a social media post about it and let everybody know what's going on, with his permission, so that I could, get everybody to show him some love. We appreciate you, Dakota. And I told him this all through private message as well. But him being away, he was real quick to be like, oh, I'll like be better soon and get back to making the posts. Dakota's been awesome to us. Dakota has been a great citizen. Dakota has been an incredible help for just like organizing and moderating the Discord server, helping people to find what they need, and also just like being a great guy. He, in fact, if you guys have watched our founding day video, he made a video for it talking about his role in the Empire, and we are lucky to have him. So please, Dakota, if you happen to be watching this, get well, take your time getting some rest. Again, I told him this on in personal message, but if you guys see him, please, if you guys see him in Discord, whatever, reach out to him, tell him thank you for what he does for us, tell him to please take some rest, take it easy, and to, we will be here when he gets back. We will be supportive and excited to see him the moment he's able to return. But again, I think, when stuff like this happens, it's important to remember that we're all people, we're all different individuals trying to make a community. And so when one of us has difficulties in our lives, whether that's getting sick, whether that's just needing a break, whether that's, having some struggle in our lives, whatever that may be, dealing with personal stuff, as a community, part of our job, part of the reason that we exist is to support each other and to say thank you so much to the person who has been carrying the weight this whole time and putting in all of this time and effort, such that we need to pick up their slack when they are struggling, when they're having difficulties. More importantly, we need to be supportive of them and making sure that they are able to responsibly, healthily, safely get through whatever issues are going through their personal lives. So again, I didn't mean to do too quick an aside, but I am grateful for you, Dakota, for being such an amazing part of our community. We are always thankful to have you. Again, anybody in our Discord, whether you're a citizen, whether you're a foreign dignitary, whatever it is, if you have come to our Discord server, if you have been a part of these live streams, anything like that, there is a good chance that Dakota has been part of helping make your experience here wonderful and fun, and helping you to connect to all these amazing people that we have here in the Empire. So again, thank you, Dakota, for helping us brick by brick to build the Empire. You have helped us to unite the invisible. You have helped us to achieve the impossible, as we say. So thank you again, Dakota. Real fast, Aaron says we'll keep him in our thoughts. Doisixstan put a heart. Thank you guys so much. Terestia says the Discord is in Aeternia's description. Absolutely. It's also in the description of this video. Again, show Dakota some love. Thank you guys so much. James also bringing up, if anyone is an editor or has any economic ideas, we could use your help in the Discord. Absolutely. Definitely reach out. Real quick, let me go ahead and finish up the base for our framing for the right side. Again, for you guys, the right side, we're going to go over here, put in the base for the framing. That way I can go ahead and climb on top of it and get started with driving that nail in, finishing up our doorway. So real fast, let me cut another piece. I guess I'll try to use this guy. Yeah, look like he's doing too much over here. So let's see what we can use it for. All right. Measure, measure, measure. Make that guy as flush as possible. Oh, we've got some nails in here. Hold on. One nail. All right, not too bad. Let me see if I can pull it out with the hammer. Okay, already starting to bend up, already starting to cause us problems. Maybe I can save it with the good old handy dandy, yeah, crowbar. But if not, I was gonna have to just bang it into the wood, unfortunately. Okay, got our stuff picked up. Going to flip this guy around. Well, no, I'll do this. I will measure and mark where we need to stop at. Handy dandy marking nail. Got it. Okay. Gonna go ahead and make our cut and have at it. But yes, James, 100% right, bringing up that we do need help in the Discord. We need assistance from you guys in helping us to develop specifically our editing, specifically developing content for us. That is right now our number one goal as a micronation. You know, obviously we're trying to develop Vitae. Obviously we're trying to have houses, you know, all the amenities necessary to take care of our citizens and have them live here with us. However, that is all also contingent on making sure that we have a successful and booming economy. And part of that, by nature, is advertising. So the more that we have people paying attention to us, supporting us online, the stronger our community is, the stronger our Patreon, things like that are, the stronger our ability to sell things is, you know, merch, for example, stuff like that. Things we have selling on the imperial market. It also means that our imperial note is stronger. It has more value, meaning that we can go to, you know, other businesses in our local area and say, hey, we have this currency which is used by our community, and that currency, you know, is used and connected to a community that, you know, if we had 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or something like that, if we had like some crazy big number, we could say, hey, this is something that isn't a small number of people. This is a decent amount of people. And if we can prove that there's a decent amount of those people that are local, then those stores would probably be willing to pick up the currency, as it gains them a niche market. It gains them a group of people who have a limit to where they can spend those notes. And so if they decide to go to that store, it benefits the store greatly. That being the case, oh goodness. If you guys want to help us with editing, with making content for the Empire of Aeternia, we need it. It is crucial to our economic plan. And a big part of that as well is just supporting these streams. You know, if you're watching this, stay as long as you possibly can. If you can watch it on multiple accounts, if you can watch it today and watch it again tomorrow or next week or next month or whatever, or go watch some of our past live streams, the more that you watch, the more that you help our watch time hours and get us closer to monetization. We have a ton of ads that run on our videos all the time that we don't make any money from, because we're not at monetization yet. So The more you guys help and watch the channel and show other people the channel, the closer we get to YouTube actually paying us for our time and labor. Yeah, I got it. Nice. All right, cut this piece. Got it pretty good, got it pretty in shape. See how that looks? Perfect. Okay. So now we're about to finish this piece up. This will be the bottom for our rightmost on your guys' side framing. So let's get it started. Flush, got it there. Okay. Finishing up. Got it. Beautiful. Okay. Getting it flush. Going for the second one. Driving it in. Okay. Caught my hand a little. Should be wearing gloves, wouldn't I think? Let me see. Be a good idea. All right. Throw these gloves on. Safety first. There we go. All right. So now we got all this going on. Got it out, set up. Now you guys won't be able to see this for a second, but I'm going to put this guy in place. It's nice and snug, just like we wanted. Hammer it down just a little bit. Make sure it stays, again, kind of where we want. Getting it wedged into here. Almost there. That is kind of crazy. I actually hit it so hard, part of the wood started separating where I nailed it. Okay, let's see. That's just about where we want it. I'm going to go ahead and move out our little pieces right here. Finish this guy up. Okay, and that looks about level. So now, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this piece in, talk to you guys while we finish up here. Incredible. Got one there. Try and drive another one in. Okay, I'm going to do two on the other side. Make sure this guy holds in real well. Keep going. Let's see. Got one. Cool. Got this one. Going for the second one. Boom, second one in place, going good. Let me get that guy flush. Nice. Okay, and up it up, a lot better. So now I can put that guy more into place. Level this guy out a little more. Okay, and my issue is I may be on top of a knot here, kind of in another tough spot. Shouldn't have been, but it appears I am. My best bet may be to go ahead and pull it out or just try and drive another one in, but it does leave me in a bit of a predicament. So I guess I will try that. See if I can pull this guy out. If I can, great. If I can't, we'll deal with it another day. Let's see. See how we do. Okay. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere for today. So we're going to move to the side. Drive in one, maybe a little better positioned. We will see. Already starting to sink down to where its counterpart is. Let's see if it makes it past that point. Doesn't look like it. Look like we're getting one of those difficult ones again, unfortunately. If I were smart, well, it looks like this side is actually coming up, so that may be a benefit to us. What we're going to do, yep, we're going to pull this guy right out of there, which sucks. It's undoing some of our work, but will help us in the long run, as I can just drive one of these nails in. So let me do that, and then we will get back to it. Okay, let's try this guy. Almost about halfway. Hey, driven through, perfect. All right, now that lets me actually, running over myself. Lets me actually pull up this other wonky nail that I had. Beautiful. And we now should be able to do what we've been trying to do. Finally. Okay. That is horrible placement. Let me adjust some of this. Pull that off where it needs to be off. Try and find where our hole is. Set that guy back in there. There it is. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to try again, having already hammered through both of our nails. Now this should just be a cleanup job. Got that flush, looking good. Going to the other side. Make sure we're in a nice spot. Okay. Nice. All right. Getting this guy in, almost done. Finish it out. Yeah. All right. See if I can back up, hit it. Couple good times. There we go. And yeah, pretty nice. Pretty solid. Okay, beautiful. 5 viewers, 9 likes. Thank you guys. World said, I've been wanting to build my own cabin. They're not a whole nation quite yet. Absolutely, you can always teach us cool stuff. Definitely develop the cabin. We'd be excited to see it. We're, again, slowly making some progress. Let's see. North Alwick says, James, we don't use Discord. However, we do have some ideas. Would it be possible for you to send us an email? gov@North Alwick. Very cool. Doystickson says, hey, AP, sorry I didn't reply to your last DM. Been really busy with school. Just to clarify, the cutting up streams into shorts things. What's the priority? As in, would you like me to focus on community updates, informational bits, funny clips? I would say probably funny clips as of the moment, you know, things that you feel like would be attention grabbing, right? The big idea with a lot of the shorts that we do is going to be, hey, we want to get people interested in the community. Anything you see that we do that's particularly funny, particularly cool or interesting, something that would make you go, oh man, I got to check these people out. What are they doing? They're building a weird thing. They're doing, you know, creating a nation. What is this? Anything that would spark interest, anything that you feel like is cool or interesting that we do, anything that's funny, you know, clipping those things, the most exciting, interesting things, getting little snippets of those, throwing them in, that is super helpful. So, you know, stuff like me just hanging on that post or something like that. Stuff that you feel like is attention grabbing, you can throw that in. That would be helpful. Joystick Sand says, so like if a tree were to follow you, JK, yes. If a tree were to follow me, firstly, I'm looking around, making sure not to jinx myself. Definitely post something like that. Let us know. Again, if you can send us these specifically, it helps us so we can post them on our social media. So for sure, Joystick Sand, you guys would be a great help in that for sure. Thank you guys so much. Again, we just accomplished something. We have now our door frame set in place. Again, fairly square. Going across here, looks like it's going to be good. So we're making progress. This is starting to look more and more like a building that we can live in. So we still need a few things. Obviously, we just complete also, if you guys can see all the way over here, maybe you can't, we completed the bottom framing piece for the rightmost part looking inward of our front wall. So we're going to need to do the same thing over here on this other wall, continue building them up, continue lining them up, and getting this just about knocked out. So still got a good ways to go, but we're making progress here. Let me see what else I can do. That I probably need to cut some more pieces of this for the rest of the framing. We've got a good number here. I'm not sure if I want to actually do See, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not sure if I want to do more framing stuff like that, or if I actually just want to put in some of these posts, kind of see what they do. Excuse me. That might be a better deal for us in the long run, to put up the vertical supports on this wall, go from there. That may be the plan ultimately. So I think that's what I'll go ahead and do. Throw in some of these vertical supports, get those in, and then that way we will be very close to finishing up these walls and starting to put in that framing, those doors. Goodness, we'll be almost finished with the framing. So let me check what time it is, how much battery we have, all that, so I make sure the stream doesn't abruptly end on us. 15%. Okay, so we're going down, getting close to the end of the stream, but we're not out yet. The more that you guys hang out with us right now, we have an hour and 43 minutes. We generally go to about 2 hours. So the more that you guys can help us out, getting closer and closer to, goodness, 2 hour, excuse me one second, guys. Hey, everybody. The more that you guys can help us to get to that 2 hour mark with as high a viewer count as possible, the better this stream will do. So thank you guys so much. Again, liking the video, getting other people in helps a lot. We got about 15 minutes left in the stream, maybe a little more, depending on how long my battery lasts. But for the time being, I'm going to try and finish this out and then head back. So what we're going to pivot to for today is finishing up these guys. We're going to put in the extra framing bits here. Probably do one like that, one like that, and we'll do two on the other side, and then we should be about done. So that's the plan. All right. Getting 2 nails, got them. Got 3 nails. Getting 2 nails, got them. Gonna start driving this in. Before we do, gonna be smart about this. Gonna set up our little makeshift sawhorse as we had. Gonna set everything up here. Set this guy up with the best side possible going on the bottom, most flush, most flat side possible. Gonna grab spiders and stuff out of my hair. All right. Now what I'm gonna have to do is drive 1 nail in at an angle on one side of the board and then do the same thing on the other side. That way it goes smoothly into where we actually want it to go for holding the piece in place. All right, so I'm going to angle up a little bit. Getting it started. All right, we just drove through. That's perfect. Okay, now let me make sure I can grab the other one. Got that one. Where'd I throw the other one at? Okay. It's all right. I will come back to it. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to go ahead with the other one as well, since I'm already right here. So I'm going to make sure that's driven in over there, so then this one will get driven in right here just about. Take that, go in at a little bit of an angle. This thing's starting to slip off. Got to be a little careful there with my momentum. Scoot it back a little. Let's see how we do. Almost through there. And we just busted through. Perfect. Okay. So this board is good and ready to be added as a vertical support. I'm going to grab this one, do the same thing. Then we'll be done with the vertical supports for our rightmost wall. I'm talking about your guys' direction, facing from the outside. Then we will go ahead with these other two. Well, with really the other front wall. But for now, let's continue this. All right, scooting back, getting this other vertical support ready. Okay. Sorry if this is not a great angle for you guys to see, but helps me to get a little more stable, make sure I'm doing what I need to. There we go. Just getting that to drive through. Perfect. Flip around to the other side, do the same thing. Gonna find where that one's knocking through. Start right here. See how that goes. Okay. There we go. All right, perfect. Got both boards prepped and ready. Now we're going to put them in. Let me make sure you guys can see where we're at and what we're doing. You jump over here. You can't, not really at least. So I will face you more toward that side so you can see what we're doing here. Got 6 viewers, 10 likes. Thank you guys. We're going to be raising the supports for this wall. Then that'll be all the vertical supports in. Well, no, excuse me, except for the leftmost wall from your guys' perspective. The leftmost front wall, I should say. So, going in, getting everything in. I think it was Empire of Serbia joined us, said making good progress. Thank you so much. We are trying ever slowly to make good progress. We are going at it one day at a time. Let me move this guy over a little bit, get it lined up. Oh, little moth. What up, moth? Okay. I'm going to start this one out. Here we go. Okay. And we got this one in officially. Now all we got to do, have that come back just a tad right there. I'm going to go on this side. Beautiful. Okay. So now we've got this one support in. Going to go ahead and put the other one in, and then we will connect them to the actual panels that are on the front. All right. Let me finish knocking this one out, and we will be good to go. All right, ready? Got that one in. All right, going for the other one. Almost in. Got it. All right, 2 vertical posts in. Now let's go ahead and connect to our frame here. Got 1, 2, 3 for one, 1, 2, 3 for another. Let's put these guys in. Grab them all up, start one at a time. Gonna go for the top here first, work our way down. That may be a little bit difficult. This one's actually on 2 pieces, so I don't anticipate this being an easy job right away. Dropped our nails. I guess I'll throw them all down to the side right here so I can get a good grip. Come back to them in a second. Okay, let me pull this guy to the side. Almost through right here. There we go. That's in place. All right. 1 out of 3. Let's go for 2 out of 3. Should be lined up right about there. See how we can do this. Yep. Okay. 2 out of 3. There we go, hitting into it. Beautiful. Got 2 out of 3 in. This thing's getting even more secure. 3 out of 3, finishing the job. Let's get it going right about here. Maybe a little over. Yep, that'll be good. Okay, I'm gonna stand up. Dang, there we go. All right, the third one was a little shaky, but we did get it to pierce through, got it in all right. Just didn't drive all the way through the board, but that is okay. Might have hit a nail or something. So we will go ahead and do the other 3. What I'll do is I'll have these guys hold them to here for just a second. As I grab my third one, and I start up top again. Up top's the most loose part. It's the part that's shaking most when we hammer stuff in, vibrating most. So that's the place that's gonna come loose first in a storm. So we want to make sure that piece is really straight on. Has the most securing it in place. What I'm going to do is actually go in the back here, hold up in the front, make sure this thing gets absolutely flushing with that. Stand up here, hold this thing in there, and make sure that gets really in there, just like that. Perfect. Now, going on to the second one. Do it about right here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, got it. Now for the very last one, going in right there.